to home.
Namaste. So today's sutra is from the Dhammapada, one of the most famous works of the Buddha. And this is from the Nāgavagga, the chapter on the elephant. Would you believe there's a whole chapter on elephants? There are so many things about the Buddha that are surprising, that you would never guess, and that most Buddhists today don't know. So let's see what the Buddha has to say about friendship. If you should find a prudent friend or companion, one who lives well, a wise one, overcoming all your troubles, you should live with that one, glad and mindful. If you do not find a prudent friend or companion, one who lives well, a wise one, like a king who abandons his conquered kingdom, one should live alone like a solitary elephant in the forest. It is better to live alone. There can be no friendship with a fool. One should live alone and not do anything bad, unconcerned like a solitary elephant in the forest. So there are what is called rogue elephants. These elephants simply go out in the forest all alone. They don't stay with a pack of pachyderms. But they live alone and they're quite content, usually a bull. And they're like monks. Elephants are quite intelligent. They can meditate, they can pray even. And they understand the position of God. There's a wonderful story about an elephant in South India who was one of the temple elephants at a big temple. And he would always carry the deity on his head when they would go out for processions. Well, after some time, the elephant got old and they retired him. And he was just in the elephant shed, all alone. And one day, he was getting old and sick. He broke free. You know, elephants are tremendously strong. And the way they train them, when they're young, they tie them with a chain. And the elephant can try as much as it wants, but can't break the chain because he's just a youngster. So from this, they get used to the idea that chains are unbreakable. Elephants never forget, right? So when they grow up and they actually can break the chain, they don't even try. So this particular elephant, one day, he knew he was going to die. And so he broke the chain and he ran to the temple and no one could stop him. And he bowed down in front of the temple where he would usually wait for the deity to come out to mount on his head. And there he left his body. So elephants have faith. They have religion. They have elaborate social customs. They worship their ancestors. They communicate by tapping the ground with their feet. And elephants miles away can feel that tapping by resting their trunks on the ground. So anyway, elephants are quite interesting. And they can be completely self-sufficient. So if one finds a friend who is wise, what does it mean? When the Buddha says someone is wise, it means they're enlightened. If you can find a friend who's enlightened, then by all means, overcome all your troubles and live with that friend. But if you can't, and this is the condition of most of us, we can't find a good friend, because such people are very rare in this world. It's better to live alone. Live alone. Be like the elephant in the forest. Don't care for anything. What keeps us bound is our care for the world. Why should we care for the world? Is it our world? Are we the king of the world? That we should care for it so much as if it was our kingdom? So like a king whose kingdom has been overthrown by some rivals, it's better to abandon this world and just live alone as a solitary being. This is how you attain enlightenment. This is how you attain samadhi, by being undisturbed. And the Buddha is saying, just go live in a quiet place at the root of a tree or in an abandoned building, on the bank of a river, in a forest, on a mountain, or even in a field, a pile of straw, any place that gives you shelter. And in that place, do what has to be done. Eliminate the ego. Lose your desires for material things. Quiet the mind. Meditate. And realize the self within oneself. The great self, Brahman, the consciousness. So this is the real meaning of being a spiritual person. Not to join a group, because as he says, one cannot find friendship with a fool. And who are the fools? People who join groups. I'll tell you why. A group's purpose is simply to perpetuate the group. And the leadership of the group, their purpose is the same. It's not to help you. It's to help themselves. So don't be the greater fool. As it's said by stock traders, if you have a stock that's undesirable, you're a fool, you bought this thing. You have to find a greater fool and unload it on him. So in the same way, those who manage groups are really only out for their own good. That means they're fools. But they find many greater fools, and they get them to join the group and come under their control. And what does that mean? You don't have time to meditate. You're always engaged in helping the group instead of helping yourself. And because of that, you can't reach self-realization. So don't be a fool and don't make friendship with fools. Be like the elephant in the forest, self-sufficient and alone. That is the best situation for attaining full enlightenment. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum.